We the real gents, right? Y'all gotta go. This ain't y'all fight. Y'all go. Let's walk. Yo, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Trash, Revelation 2:9, the synagogue is saved.
All right, Shalom. This is Howard 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Yeah, so you see, Amalek getting ran off the street. All right, off the city blocks up in Philadelphia. And it's happening in other cities and other states, man. What it is, man, they showed up out there at that protest. That was for that brother that got shot up in Philly that had the knife. And most likely, those Edomites, those fake Jews, they were there to be agent provocateurs, man. They're not part of our cause. If they're going to help us out, they could help us out in other ways. But to show up at that march, not us, but, help our people. To show up at that march and be standing there with their face covered, it just looks suspect. So it was the best thing them cats could do spiritually of trying to run them the hell out of there. And this is all part of prophecy. That's the beautiful part. This is all prophecy. All right. And the Lord said we're not supposed to take part in that. We're not supposed to be part of none of those marches. All right. And now you see why. All right. So we're supposed to do it the Lord's way and go out and teach every week. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All right. But the scripture do speak about Jake rising up against Esau. And most likely going to start, according to scripture, is going to start with Judah. And that's the main thing you see, Jacob and Esau. But who's the top tribe of Jacob now? Israel is Judah. All right. Now, and what does it mean? Yahweh praise. All right. This and through Judah you get Yahushua. All right. So this is Genesis 49:8. Judah, and so-called Negroes, and that's most likely the ones. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Most of the Jakes up there in Philly, dark skin. Other than that, you got a lot of Ephraim, and a lot of Moab, and a lot of Italians, which could be Judah Jakes as well. I mean, so just like out here in Florida, you have a lot of, or Jacksonville, you have a lot of Guatemalans and a lot of Mexicans. All right, you don't really see too many Puerto Ricans. You might see them passing by or moving around, but in the hoods in Philadelphia, you see they even got we had an area called the Badlands out in North Philly. That was all Puerto Rican poppy land. That's what they call it. All right, poppies. So, yeah, man, and in the Midwest, in the West, you have a lot of Mexicans and Native Americans, Gadites. And also here in the South, you have a lot of Seminole Indians, and you have some Gadites as well. All right. So we're scattered everywhere, and it's all being set up for the what the Lord told us. He said, our weapons of warfare are not carnal, all right, but are mighty through Yahweh, through pulling down the strongholds, spiritual strongholds that have a strong hold on our people. All right, fighting them carnally, that's going to do nothing. So I'm going to get a couple of scriptures and to show that this is happening in the prophecy and what mindset we should be in, and and what's going to happen to Esau. And those fake Jews that got ran out of there, you heard it. How you know, man, we got to keep pushing because it's working. This word is being spread everywhere. especially up there in Philly. You know, it's like Muslim city, man. It's nothing but Muslim Jakes up there. All my friends was Muslim, you know. But you have a lot of teachings up there. You have a lot of Israelites up there, you know, different camps, but they still teaching the basis that we're Israelites, and they teach the basics that that I know of, that Esau is Amalek, and Amalek is so-called white man. All right, the fake Jews. All right, so now let's get this. Well, Amalek is the chief house of Edom, of Esau, just like Judah is the chief tribe of Israel, and they're gonna go head to head, you know. But all the tribes are gonna come together right here in America on a carnal level against Esau, and spiritually, the Lord gonna raise up His men in the midst of World War III. But we're not to be a part of all that. Okay, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. And that's what Judah means, Yahweh praise. And through Judah, you get Yahushua. All right. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. So who was our enemy? Deuteronomy 28 said we were sold to our enemy. All right. And the scriptures say our enemy would be ruling in these last days. And scriptures say in 2nd Ezra that Esau is the end of the world. So it shows you who our enemy is, Esau. All right. Now it says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, meaning forcing them, bringing them down physically. All right. So when these race wars break out, which I believe they will break out, whoever is chosen to be in office as a president, it might not start next month, but eventually it's going to be a race war out here. You know, the fire is already stoked and set by the elites, and it's according to prophecy, because it says here that Judah's hand is going to be in the neck of thine enemies. All right, so you're going to be, what? It's called like you stand over top of somebody and you force them to the ground and put your hand on their neck. All right, I ain't talking about just choking them and picking them up. It's talking about forcing them to the ground. All right, having your hand on their neck. And that's the spirit that Jake was in. You know, he's like, get the hell out of here. We don't need you. We don't need your help. And the guy brought up the scripture, and that's what you do. You bring out scriptures, man. Revelation 2:9. All right. He said the synagogue of Satan. That's right. And the devil was in the midst. All right. It says thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Because no matter what happened, those Edomites would have been out there throwing shit, breaking shit, getting money. That's what they were really out there for. To see what Jake was going to break into next, so they can go in there and get some stuff. All right, that's why Esau out there. I bet you. So it says, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right, all the tribes are going to be under Judah, and Esau is going to be brought to bow down to Israel in general. All right, who is our mother? Children. Rebecca. All right. Now it says, verse 9, Judah is a lion's whelp, or is a cry of a lion. Okay, young lion. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him? Okay, as an old lion. So they sat down, young and youthful, and the best at everything. You know, Jake, especially Judah. And it says what? Couched as a lion. So he couched, just sit on the couch and lay down. You see a lion laying all the way down. It takes longer to get up. They don't want to move, especially if they're old. They lose their bite, that strength. So they sit there and just look at the prey go around them and moving past them. And they know they don't have strength to fight it or bite into the flesh of it. All right. So they couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him? Okay, so it's the only way Jake can get roused to fight, stand upon their feet, is through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. All right, the Lord raising up his elect in the spirit, and he's going to raise up these nations by having Esau put hell on our people. Okay, every time they shoot another brother down or Jake down, which he had a knife though, man, but it was steps to everything. They could have used the taser, but the guy had a knife. If somebody had a knife in front of me and I got a weapon or something like that, if I had one, I would drop him too. Shit. No questions asked. But hey, they train differently, so there's steps before they're supposed to go to the straight lethal. They could have used a taser, all right, or sprayed them with some spray. All right, they had to tackle them and put themselves at risk. No, they could have tased them. They could have sprayed them. All right, and then if that ain't working, shoot them. But hey, man, things happen, but it's all according to the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Just like that brother that got hit by that motorcycle on the moped. He kept driving, so when he hit that corner, that truck was right there. Boom. That was all the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to get this thing sparked. They can't plan that. All right. Esau goes with the flow. As the pieces come together, they move off of that. They have their plan and their place and their hope and their agenda, but they move off of that. Like, they don't create a storm with HARP, for instance, the HARP weapon, HAARP. Instead, they control a storm after a hurricane appears. Then they try to strengthen it or move it, just like a snowstorm, or you know what I mean, or heat in certain areas. So that's what they can do with the HARP. So they don't create it, really. They order out of chaos, and they have their plan, like with the pandemic and shit like that on a lower scale. But on another side of the coin, they just taking what's given to them, and they move off of that towards their plan. All right, so it's all according to the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai at the end of the day. So there will be a race war, because the Lord said right here that his hand, Jake's hand, shall be in the neck of his enemies. It says Job 20:9. The eye which saw him shall see him no more. It's talking about Esau. All right, you're not gonna see them popping up and appearing wherever they want to go. See, the Lord putting that spirit on Jake. We say, got to keep the devil way down in the hole. That's the song, right, from The Wire, the movie The Wire, the show The Wire. He said, hey, you got to keep the devil down in the hole. That's how they're going to be. In the kingdom, they're going to be kept down in the pit until it's time to come out and work. And then after work, they're going to be put back into the pit. All right? And that's that spirit that's on Jake right now. They're like, what the hell are they doing out here? It says, neither shall his place anymore behold him. So their rulership, they're losing it. Right? They're losing that power seat that they had. Verse 10, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. So his children, these Edomites, their children shall seek to please the poor. Say, I'm with you. Black Lives Matter. No, they ain't. The Lord said, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. They're trying to hide from their judgment. They're trying to wipe away that shame that they're feeling as a nation, some of them, for what their people was doing. And they know something bad is going to happen to them. They might not know about judgment, but they know something bad going to happen to them. These Edomites. All All right. So his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. So through their hands, through people like Vocab Malone and other people like that, they're in the future, once the Lord puts their people in bondage, they're going to what? Restore our goods. Right? And it's going to start with Amalek, the chief house. These banking elites. This is Isaiah 14. Start from here. 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? And Lucifer means what? The illuminated ones. All right. And that's them. You have the Illuminati, you have the banking elites. They move in secret. You know, they know the things we don't know. We were the ones that were called the lost sheep. All right. Israel being lost. But these heathens, you got to know the truth to create a lie, you know? And that's what they did. They create lies. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? It's talking about Esau, all right? And also tied to America and the European Union. And the beast, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And they used America to weaken the nations. All right, so Esau, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. And that's twofold. It's about pride. It goes with Obadiah. Esau, the pride of thine heart, of thy mind, has deceived thee. Their riches and wealth. Trying to, in that old mindset of the Tower of Babel, reaching unto heaven. All right, ruling from the heavens. You know. And it also deals with their pride and them, and also them trying to exalt themselves above the children of Israel. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregations in the side of the north. That's in America. So they spread out all over the world, from the east to the west. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's what they're saying. Now, let me get to the point. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee. See, they're starting that. They're starting to consider, looking at Esau like, every time they're around, man, it's like all their ways are grievous. Right? They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake nations? All right, just like with Alexander, he caused the earth to tremble. That made the world a wilderness. See, they made the world a deserted place, man, full of wickedness, and destroyed the cities thereof. All right, and one of the cities they destroyed also is Jerusalem. They destroyed our temple in 70 AD, and going back to 586 BC, they burned. They were there to burn it down too. All right, and it's slavery, and with their demonocracy and going around the world in the Middle East. All right, they destroyed cities thereof that opened not the house of his prisoners. All right, when they came over and messed with the Gadites, you know, they destroyed cities. But he said it, and now it says, let me get this, where was that? Here you go, verse 21. Verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in the burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. All right, now this is going to fall on Esau. All right, and Esau has slain Jacob. But the seed of evildoers, their children, shall never be renowned, man. 21, prepare slaughter for his children. So the Lord said, instead, do this. He's talking to the angels. He's preparing the slaughter and, the judgment for these Edomites. And they showing up looking like deer, even when in their tactical uniforms and these militias. The Lord like, nah, that's Esau's weapon, the sword, the gun. All right, but the Lord got something for him. He gonna raise up Jake and bring them together, and he probably gonna let them have guns. Well, who knows, man? You know. But Israel, the hopeful elect of Israel, are gonna have spiritual protection and abilities from the angels, from Yahweh Shem Shai. So that's what we're waiting on. All right. Prepare slaughter for his children. So the Lord said, prepare slaughter for them. Not to join with them and be cool and have them marching with you. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, so their forefathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the earth of the world with cities. So the Lord ready to cut that off from them filling the face of the world with their cities anymore. All right, he's ready to stop that. You know, so instead he's going to bring them and put them in the pit, in the prisons. I'm gonna read this. 22, for lo, so those Edomites that are here in America, this is for them. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, and cut off from Babylon the name. All right, so Esau is going to be around the world still getting destroyed as well. But a lot of them going to go into slavery. But here in America, no Edomite is making it out of here. They're going to be born into slavery. All right. So they're here to get judged. It says, for lo, I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 30. So that's how this is prophecy, okay? And this is going to happen. This is called a civil war. He said there should be what? Sedition among men. Well, actually, sedition would be the civilians rising up against the government. But there's also going to be race wars. All right, it's spoken of right here in 2nd Ezra 13. And let me go start from 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, right? When Yahushua shows up, he's a so-called black man, and they have no idea. All right, and he's from the tribe of Judah. And one shall undertake to fight against another. See, they're starting to really bring out the guns and the violence and the bloodshed. You're starting to see more. As you're watching the TV screens, the Lord told us to watch. As you're watching the news, you're starting to see more blood on the shirts and the clothing of the two sides, two opposing sides. You'll see the police with blood on them, and you'll see Jake bleeding. The protesters, I'll say that on any level, overseas, and so it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another. See that? So one city against another, because you're gonna have people trying to go into different cities. You know, anyway, they're not quarantined, or you know. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the point. One city against another. All right, creating rival cities like New York or New Jersey against Philly, New York against Philly, New York against Jersey. You know, one place against another, and one people. So it's gonna be country against country. One people against another. So that's the race wars. All right, and one realm against another. So you have a spiritual war going on as well. All right. So we're in a time of war breaking out. And our fight is the spiritual war, the realms. We fight within that. Okay. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. All right, so in the midst of all this chaos, Yahweh Shai is going to be declared. How is it going to be declared? By the angels showing up. Okay, his royal entourage is going to appear first. Then Yahweh Shai is going to appear. So you're going to see these angels. They're going to give his angels charge over his elect. All right. All right. It said, then shall Yahweh Shai appear. Zephaniah 3:8. All right. So we're not supposed to be out there fighting in no race wars. You protect yourself, of course, and your family, your household, and your brothers. But we're not supposed to be out there seeking to shoot them with guns and with their own weapons. Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me. So wait for Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh's going to send Yahweh Shai, man, the lion sitting in the bushes waiting to pounce on the enemy, on the prey. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. All right. So when he's going to be revealed. All right. So wait on him. He got to get first dibs first, man, and bringing these devils down. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, it says, for he said, this is Exodus 17:16. For he said, because Yahweh have sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So that means forever. The Lord gonna, be warring against them. And when he shows up, he's gonna go to war with them too. All right. So Amalek is the chief house of Satan, the chief tribe of the adversary, Esau. All right. The fake Jews. All right. In Numbers 24, like I said, I don't know if I said it earlier. I think I did. If it's on this video. In Numbers 24, it says, Amalek shall perish forever. I may do a lesson on it later. But it says Amalek is going to perish forever. Forever, man. Okay, that's coming. That's their destiny. Revelations 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. So the Lord revealing them, exposing them. All right, the mystery of iniquity is being revealed. He's making them, creating them into it, and pointing them out that they're the devil. They're the synagogue of Satan. All right, which say they are Jews and are not. So they say they're Jews, they're Israelites, and they're from Judah, but they're not. The scriptures say Judah was dark skinned originally. Yahweh Shai is a Judite. It tells you his complexion in Daniel 10:5, and also in Revelation 1:13. So today you're gonna have Israel looking like a different complexion. That doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, they say that they're the Jews. Well, the top tribe of Israel is called Judah. And in Rome, they gave us a title calling us Jews, which was an abbreviation for all Israel. They just say, hey, the Jews. Anybody that was part of the circumcision, they said they called them the Jews. All right. So if these they call themselves the Jews, where the rest of the 12 tribes then? Because Jew is an abbreviation for Judah. All right. And that's that video I seen. It was another protest that happened. And one of the Jakes broke out. He started yelling at the news reporter. He said, hey, we're Judah. we're Judah. You know, nobody know what tribe they're from, but still. He's like, we're Judah. Y'all the fake Jews. See that? But they still not going out and doing it the correct way. You're supposed to go out in the streets, highways and byways, and bid your people to the marriage and reprove and rebuke with all long suffering. But, you know, Jake out there with guns and burning shit, and protest signs. The Lord told you you're supposed to go out with 12 tribe signs, and, you know, and your other signs as well, but not give us liberty or give us death. But it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. So the Lord said he's going to make them do what? Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet and to know that I have loved thee. So the Lord promising us. You know, you hear that vocab? The Lord said, I mean, even if vocab don't listen to it, I'm just talking shit. But the Lord said what? He promising us that he's going to make that. What? That's Revelation 13. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, that he that killed with the sword shall be killed by the sword. All right. So he promised us that he's going to make them come and worship before our feet and to know. So he's going to make them know it. He's going to rub it all in their face that he has loved us, man, that he cared for us, right? Through that chastisement. And that's going through hell for being wicked. Jeremiah 16:19. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress. All right. So without Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, our people have no strength, and they have no protection, no fortress, no covering in the day of trouble. He said his name is a strong tower. All right. Our fortress. The righteous runneth into it and are safe. All right. So that's why I say they couch down as an old lion, no strength. Without Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, having no hope in the world. O Lord, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. So that's our refuge in these times of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, these heathens, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. All right, so their fathers have inherited lies, saying that they're the Jews. Just like Herod, his fathers inherited lies. Antipater the Edomite, you know, who was that? John Hyrcanus went down there and forced them Edomites under the law and order of Israel. And later on, what's his name? Antipater the Edomite, he envied that and wanted to become a Jew by practice, just like Herod. All right, but he'll never be an Israelite, meaning a son of God, a righteous son of Yahweh. They're set up, they're created to be the wicked on the left-hand side. All right, so surely their fathers have inherited lies, man. That's what they're looking like. What? Huh? What do you mean get out of here? We're here to help. Why are you mad at us? They just don't know. This is Isaiah 13:14. And it shall be chaste. It shall be. Who's talking about it? It's talking about the Edomites. And it shall be as the chased roe, like a deer, being chased by lions. The scriptures say Israel is like a lion, and, you know, and dew upon the grass. And if they go through and tread down, who can stop them, basically? You know. But what's stopping them? Who can rouse them up, though? It's all about the timing and the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, and these Edomites shall be as a chased roe. And that's what we saw in the video. They got chased out of there. And as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. This is Obadiah 1 and 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, that's those banking elites of Edom, all right, and they're nobles. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. They're gonna be looking like, yo, what the hell is happening to our people? We're being cut off, and they're gonna see it. All right, the Illuminati, verse 11. And in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. Right, them fake Jews in our land, the synagogue of Satan. So they're not the real Jews, man. So they were the ones that stole our land, and they've been trying to get into our land since 586. You know, who was that? Cyrus the Great, I think. I think that was Cyrus, or was it Nebuchadnezzar? One of them rulers. They forced Edom. I think it was Cyrus. They forced Edom to pay us. You know, after they burned the temple down at 586, they were forced to pay us for those lands, all right, that they burned down in the temple. And in 70 AD, they burned it down again. And then they moved into that land, okay, around the 5th century AD. So they went and took our land and called themselves Jews, called themselves Israelites or Israelis. You know, and they got set up as a sovereign nation, 1948. Okay, as a protection and a financial protection and a deterrent against Iran and these other enemy nations of America, of Babylon. All right. So now it says Obadiah 1 and 11, 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, right? It said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. They're going to have to live with it or die with it. It's going to follow them to the grave. Or it's going to follow them. They can't shake it, run from it, or hide from it. Because these are called curses that the Lord is going to put on them. All right, it's going to be upon them for a sign until their destruction. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day he became a stranger. See, when we got ran out of our land, Esau was right there, the devil right in the midst to see us fall and to help with our destruction. And he kept it going. They doppelganged us, meaning they tried to become us. Imposters, basically. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. All right, that's 586. And Israel was brought down around 722. And Esau was proud of that in the 8th century. After they got ran out of Edom or Petra by the Nabateans, they broke their deal that they had with us. All right. The peace treaties they had with us, they broke that in 586, and they joined up with Nebuchadnezzar, the Assyrian. I think they had deals, peace treaties that were with Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, so-called Negro. All right. And when Esau got ran up out of that land, they lived on the shore, the borders, the southern borders of Judah, and they had to come to us for help. But in 586, they got ran. They joined up with Nebuchadnezzar and sought to slay us and burn down our temple and take our areas and our riches. All right. So that was when they stood in the midst, and they were one of them that helped with our destruction. When we became strangers, when we got scattered. All right. So it says, all right, so that's what the Spirit is saying to them Edomites when they come to join, when they show up to join at the BLM or any type of protest. You know, that's how the Lord feels about them. They're going to be as a chase row, and they have judgment coming. But verse 12, it says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother. And their brothers who? Jacob and Esau. In the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. In 586. So they rejoiced over it, man. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. And they spoke proudly, even in the Roman Empire. And they're speaking proud. They're speaking proudly now, as they mowing our people down in the streets and killing them, which is still according to the Father's will, Yahweh's will. You got people like Trump and them telling the police to keep doing it. All right, so they're still doing it, rejoicing over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. All right. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. Man, that's what they're doing, speaking proudly. Verse 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. And they entered in. And later they wound up taking our lands, calling it theirs, calling themselves Jews and shit. And their children grow up believing that they're the damn Jews. So they're inheriting lies. It's being passed down. All right. And it's going to get their ass whooped because they walking out there in the midst of Jake thinking they cool with everybody or people love them for being who they know. Like, nah, get your ass out of here. And nobody can see what they people were doing to us. All right. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity, and especially in slavery. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut those off of those of his that did escape. Wow. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, not just Esau, but all the heathen. All right. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. All right. So that's coming, man. And it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, wow, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. All right, that's the first scripture I started off with too. He said, you see them, then you're not going to see them anymore. So they're going to be as though they have not been at all. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And that shows you, that goes with Revelations chapter 7, that only Israel is going to be sealed and delivered. verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a flame, a fire. And this is in the kingdom. And the house of Joseph, a flame. And after 1,000 years of their slavery, it's going to be a complete genocide that happens to Esau. The same thing they tried to do to us. The Lord is going to end their punishment. All right, the scripture say in the spirit realm, even the wicked have rest. So he's going to end it after 1,000 years, double of what they've done to us. He's going to have all the nations of Israel pounce on every Edomite at once. All right. Whether they burn them with fire, whatever they use, whatever agent, which I think is going to be with fire probably. That's the best cleansing agent. All right. In the house of Joseph, a flame. In the house of Esau, for stubble. And this is a parable. And they shall kindle in them, meaning what? To hotly pursue. Pursue after them like the police in a hot pursuit. The Lord gonna get a command out, like, go, that's it. They done. And devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh have spoken it.